who should be paying for climate change? Should it be companies, consumers? Are politicians responsible for climate change? We might debate about who should pay for many hours, but there's an increasing number of stakeholders who are asking companies to pay, who feel that companies should be accountable for climate change. And this demand for accountability is taking place through two types of measures: litigation, so people are suing companies, and the adoption of liability policy, so adopting new measures that make companies in the law responsible for the consequences of climate change. Typically, companies are found accountable because of two features: what companies say, so companies are being seen responsible for the consequences of their action; greenwashing, climate denial. And the other channel through which companies are seen accountable for climate change is the impacts of their action. You're polluting, you should pay for the consequences of the pollution, so polluter pay principles. And my research would focus on these two forms of corporate accountability for climate change. So accountability for the impacts, for the actions, polluter pays, compensation, and greenwashing cases. So what would I do practically? Now that I've set the stage, given you some context about my research. The first thing that I want to do is I want to look, can we take a given company, a very specific company, and look at its historical greenhouse gas emissions and try to connect these emissions to specific damages. There's a hurricane tomorrow. Can we link the damages of this hurricane to a specific company? And how much could we ask that company to pay with a robust scientific methodology of attribution? That's the first project. The second project is to look at what companies say about their own responsibility for climate change. If you look at companies' annual reports, you can look at disclosures, discourse. So can we look at the annual reports of companies to say, what do they say about litigation, about climate accountability? So that's the second project that would be leveraging AI to screen thousands of documents to be able to classify sentences and do the analysis of that discourse. And the third project is the evaluation of a policy that was adopted last summer by the Canadian government. It's a law that prevents greenwashing, and it's been extremely controversial because a lot of companies say that actually this law will prevent them from speaking about environmental issues. Instead of just blocking truthful environmental claims, it's going to censor them. So there's also this freedom of speech dimension. And I want to look at the effect of this policy on companies' environmental claims. So again, looking at annual reports, looking at sustainability reports, trying to see if we can evaluate this policy on environmental transparency, on environmental communications. So it's a mix of environmental science, policy, economic policy, and law. So really interdisciplinary project to focus on corporate accountability for climate change.